Have you ever wondered how much a mountain bike and how much performance you can get for 5,000 bucks these days? Well, in this video, we're about to find out. Welcome to our long-term wrap-up review of the Focus Jam 6.9. This is a bike that we've had here for the mag now for a couple of months. Blake's been riding the hell out of it. And we're gonna run through some of the performance things. And as we mentioned, just how much value for money you're getting with a bike that costs around half the value of a lot of the bikes we get sent here at the magazine. So really interesting review this one. Make sure you tune in. Now, if you like our channel, be sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and if there's anything you'd like to know about it, drop a comment below and we'll get back to you right away. Blake, first up, hit us with the numbers of this bike, mate.
So the Focus Jam 6.9 is coming 29er specific. We've got 150 millimeters of travel front and rear. This bad boy's got a little flip chip in there, so we've got a little bit of geometry adjustment as well. And delving a bit deeper into it, this medium has a 450mm reach. For a 29er, it's got a very nice and short rear end, 435 millimeters, which makes this bike super agile and playful. It just loves to rip through the corners, whip around in the air and all that type of thing. We've got a 65 degree head angle, 76 degree seat angle, so the climbing is nice and comfortable. This really is a very, very well built all-rounder.
Awesome. Tell us a bit about the part spec, 5 grand. We keep harping on about the 5 grand. You wouldn't expect too much in terms, you probably expect some pretty much entry-level stuff. But I'm looking here, I'm seeing a lot of XT. Mate, it looks like you're getting quite a lot of value for money in terms of the spec here.
Absolutely. We were pretty blown away when we pulled this thing out of the box. We do have some entry-level Fox suspension, but it's Fox suspension nonetheless.
Still good, heaps of adjustment.
Quality built, plenty of adjustment, obviously full air. It's got a full XT group set. We're talking brakes, cranks, the whole 9 yards. So like, this really is we have been blown away. Like, there's bikes out there that cost twice as much that are coming with lesser spec brake options and these types of things. So Focus have really looked at the parts that, you know, probably cop the most abuse and have put a little bit more into that and save money in other places, which is fine. That's what you want from a budget bike.
Mate, then tell us, again, 5 grand, surely it's lacking somewhere. Is the frame? I mean, the frame looks nice, the worlds look neat. What do you think?
Absolutely. So this is obviously, it's come out of a mass production frame factory. So all of your worlds, the quality and the workmanship behind the actual frame construction is going to be second to none. Like, there's no need to be worried there. Like, it's not like you're getting some little backdoor deal like frame manufacturing.
Oh, no.
This is going to be the same quality as any alloy frame out there from a reputable brand. And the way that they've actually sort of placed their pivot points and put some bracing in on the rear end and that type of thing, it's not like, it doesn't feel like a noodle or anything like that either. The frame itself is actually absolutely rock solid. The Focus Fold suspension system works faultlessly. It's very, very nice. It's got some good ramp up coupled with the Fox float rear shock. We've got this thing absolutely dialed. For 150 millimeters of rear travel, like, this thing just eats up the trail, but it is so damn playful at the same time.
That's what I was going to ask you. So is this 150 travel front and rear, is that a bit of a jack of all trades, one bike to do it all? Sort of, does it hit that category?
100%, yeah. So like, I've taken this thing on just general sort of XC trail bike type riding in our national park and that type of thing. Eats up the trails, absolutely loves it. But as you can see from the videos that we put out, it's not afraid to send some big jumps and ride the roughest terrain out there as well. Like, it's all about, it is a little bit of compromise in both directions, but that's why you buy a 150 millimeter travel bike. Like, it really does tick all of the boxes.
Mate, it's one thing you just hit it on the head there, is it actually does get up and party quite hard out there on the trails. What about its limits though? Where does it kind of, did you find yourself getting a little bit over its head?
I mean, like, the steeper sort of terrain, like being a 65 degree head angle, like if you're really getting down some steep, gnarly, rough sections, like, you can notice the suspension sort of starting to pack up a little bit if you're really trying to go very, very quick. But that's not necessarily because of the spec or anything like that. Like, that's just to do with the travel and the size of the bike. But that's, you know, horses for courses. Like, you buy your bike on what your local trails are sort of tendering towards, because that's where you ride the most. That's what we always say. And this thing is like, it's just absolute, it's a great compromise between, you know, that 150 mil travel. Like, it's just ticking a lot of boxes.
Right. Now, I guess the one thing I really wanted to ask you, and I was kind of heading down here today, and I knew we were going to talk about this bike, 5,000 bucks. Is it half the performance and half the bike you're getting for a $10,000 carbon bike? Or, I mean, we've $12,000, $13,000 bikes here. This bike is a lot less. It's literally 2 bikes for one.
Absolutely.
But in terms of performance and package and the overall experience you're going to get out there in trails, are we talking 50% or not?
In no way at all.
Okay.
Like the performance value, like it really does come down to suspension setup is a very sort of, not niche, but if you spend a bit more time setting up your suspension, maybe do a little bit more research on a bike like this, obviously it's coming out of the box with some super grippy Maxxis tyres, so you're not going to have to struggle for grip or anything like that. It really does come down to the actual geometry of the bike and all that type of thing, which, as I said, Focus have absolutely nailed that on this particular bike for the travel length and all these types of things. So it's just, they've just done a really, really good job of picking and choosing parts that need to be a bit higher quality, maybe a little bit more expensive, and just, you know, committed to them. And then they've saved a little bit of money elsewhere. Like, we don't have super flashy handlebars or saddle or dropper post, but those things are, you know, cosmetic essentially. Like, these things still perform just as well.
To get an upgrade down the track.
100%, exactly right.
So pretty much you're saying, buy this bike, get yourself a good quality shock pump so you can play around with your suspension settings at home, get it just the way you like it. But mate, all in all, it sounds like Focus have absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark. More or less an entry-level price point. You know, a lot of people that couldn't go to the gym and whatnot as the pandemic kicked in and the lockdowns happened, went and bought their first mountain bike. They may be looking at getting their first real mountain bike now and upgrading to something really cool that's actually going to unlock a lot of those gnarly trails and those fun sections. A bike that's going to last a good few years. This is what we call a real mountain bike. We keep harping on about the price point, 5,000 bucks. Pretty much unbelievable, right around that $5 price point. Mate, the Focus Jam 6.9, this is definitely a bike you're gonna wanna check out. These guys are in store across Australia right now. Hope you enjoyed our review.